Greetings, and welcome to the Simple Four-Step Swing. If you like to play golf, would like to be a better golfer, you're tired of all the hype and broken promises from all these golf gurus out there, or you're tired of taking golf lessons or getting golf tips that just kind of screw up your entire game, you're just totally confused by the copious amounts of information about the golf swing. You want a simple golf swing that provides consistent results every time. You want immediate results without spending weeks, months, or years of practice. And you don't want to spend a fortune on golf lessons. Then I'm totally convinced that you will benefit from my simple four-step swing. Who am I? I think it's important that we set the record straight as to who I am. Because the fact is, I'm you. I'm not a professional golfer or a professional golf instructor. I'm just an enthusiastic admirer of this wonderful game, and I've spent most of my adult life seeking answers to my hooks, my slices, my shanks, my fat shots, and my general screw-up on the golf course. I'm also the biggest sucker in the world for all things new about golf. Anything that even slightly suggests that I can discover the holy grail of this game, I own it. I've read way too many golf magazines and golf books. I've taken way too many golf lessons. And I certainly have way too many golf gadgets, swing aids, golf videos, and other useless paraphernalia that seem like they would do the job, but they rarely do. I'm totally convinced that every golf instructor I've ever seen sees me as recurring revenue and only gives me enough information to keep me coming back, but not enough to give me what I'm actually looking for, which of course is a simple method to hitting consistent golf shots when I go to the golf course, not just on the driving range. In my real life, I'm a software engineer. I like to process things logically and simply and effectively. Frustrated by my lack of progress year after year, despite all the lessons and practice, I decided to see if I could use my skills as a software engineer to take a different approach to this wonderful game that I love. The result is the simple four-step swing. Here's another thing I discovered about the golf swing. The imaginary golf target, the imaginary line, is really not a line at all. It's a circle. Relative to the target we are aiming at, a golfer stands beside the golf ball, not behind it like you would in darts or like in bowling. Therefore, any attempt to take the club back, extending the club, hands and arms along this target line, and somehow have the club, the hands, and the arms follow through the target line after impact is in every way simply impossible. The only time that the club head and the target line are identical is at the point of impact when this club is actually striking the ball. I can't tell you how many lessons I have taken that stress the point on maintaining this club head through this target line, and how many chiropractors I have to go see to fix my aching back. Well, if the golf swing is a golf whip and it's circular, then the entire concept of taking the backswing is completely misleading. The actual motion is a back turn, and there's no swing action found anywhere in this movement. You know, the golf movement is really all about angles and leverage. You know, getting your hands, your arms, and the club into the proper position for maximum whipping velocity is our responsibility as the golfer. Then it's up to physics and allowing the club to do its job. The entire movement from the takeaway to the finish takes about a second, maybe a second point one, second point two. The actual time from what is normally called the downswing is a fraction of a second, and the actual point of impact is like 1/10,000th of a second. There's no way in the world that anyone can control this critical point within a golf movement. Yet instructors continue to talk about squaring the golf face at impact, releasing the arms, maintaining the club along a target line, etc., etc., etc. In 1/10,000th of a second? Give me a break. All we can do is to consistently get our hands, our arms, and this golf club into the proper position before the critical stage of whipping the club through an imaginary zone. After that, it's all about angles, leverage, and physics. Step one in the simple four-step swing is called the turn. I truly feel that turn is a much better description than backswing when describing the initial action or movement. This is a simple movement that only requires a few simple things to focus on. Those simple things are: you turn your shoulders first, you stay connected, and you rotate your left arm or your right arm halfway through the back turn. Step 2 I refer to as the top, and this is really easy. You need to complete your back turn until your left shoulder touches your chin. Very important. Make sure you get a good turn. You don't even think about cocking your wrists in any way, shape, or form. And you have to slow down. It's tempo, tempo, tempo. The third step to the 4-step swing is the whip. And this is the real goal we all seek. And that's whipping that club head with maximum velocity. Now we want to start this whole movement with our hands, arms, and club. We want to really watch that our right shoulder doesn't fly out and go over the top. And we want to stay focused on the ball to prevent any unnecessary head movement or head swaying. Step 4 I call the photo finish. This is also a very easy step because the whipping action and the turning of your upper body will naturally move your weight from your right side, your right leg, onto your left one. Here's some key points. Turn, turn, turn through the impact zone. Finish the forward turn towards the target so your right foot ends up totally off the ground except for your right toe. Now hold that finish as though someone were taking your picture. Notice there's no step for actually hitting the ball. This is not your job. There's also no mention of releasing the club, whatever that means, or any of the other jargon that you hear within the golf community. Your responsibility is to simply get the club into the proper position to consistently whip the club towards an imaginary target zone with enough velocity to reach your intended target. Period. Here's another neat thing about my simple 4-step swing, is that you can work on one step at a time without changing your entire golf swing. Really. Start with step 1, the turn, and only work on that step until you're ready to move on to the next. No more hitting hundreds of golf balls before you see a positive result. The simple 4-step swing is so easy to start that you'll be amazed at how quickly you'll see improvement in your golf shots.